You're like.
No, I'm bleeding not, pal. You were nodding it. You were giving them Zeds. You were, pal. I saw you.
Yeah. Right. Now
I heard you snoring.
Yeah. Okay.
Good morning, young man.
Well, you know, I'm entitled to. I'm old.
Yeah. Right. He's back, and it's all working now.
Good.
So I had to pull it to 22.
Oh, Helen Mansell.
I'll go up now. Yeah. Hi, Helen Mansell. How are you? Hi, Christine Maris. One thing I want to.
Good evening, Christine. One thing you wanted to.
Christine, is it Christine Stewart? She lost her husband this morning.
Yes.
Just them thoughts out.
Hello,
Hi, Julianne. And look, the lovely Julie put hello, Tom was first. Then Paul and Luke.
Well, there you go. You see, she's after something. She's after something. I'm telling you.
So, like what I put, Triple Trouble means business. Don't feed the medium. We've already eaten.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I've gone from a medium to an extra. Well, it depends on where I shop.
Is that fam or tam?
That's fam, as in family. If
right.
I go to Sainsbury's for anything like a T-shirt or whatever, I have to go for an extra large. If I have to go to M&S for something, I go extra large.
Yeah, definitely, Christine Maris. Big hugs and prayers for Christine, bless her.
Yeah. Good evening, Diane Woolen. I bet you're warm. Woolen? Warm? No, never mind. Hi, Angela. If I nod off, don't worry, because I haven't had my afternoon nap. Did I? Oh, I did. I had my afternoon nap, so I shouldn't nod off.
That one got daddy all creased up. If I nod off, it's because I didn't get my evening nap.
Oh, God, he's back.
Because someone kept moaning.
Oh,
I am.
Hey, I'm entitled to moan. I'm old. I'm telling you. Shut your face.
Oh, bless you, Samantha. She's doubled up again.
Yeah, in pain.
Laughter.
She must have had the fish
probably
again.
seen your face again.
Yeah, she had the fish. That's what's wrong.
Yes.
Good evening, Carolyn. How are you this fine evening or afternoon or whatever it is in South Africa? South Africa.
Okay.
South Africa, isn't it? I'm just saying, son-in-law, if I nod off, don't worry about it. I haven't had my afternoon nap. But then again, I thought, yeah, I did have an afternoon nap. So anyway, if I nod off again, I'm tired.
Yeah. And if you start dribbling, it'll be down to your Alzheimer's.
No, that's something different. That's to do with the waterworks.
Oh, right. Yeah. You haven't got your tenor pants on then?
No. Ran out of my size, mate.
Oh, well.
Terrible.
You could always use the terry toweling.
Helen, you have to wait because we have a questions and answers beforehand, and then we go into major shift after. Hello, Jamie. I was on both sides, Facebook and YouTube, the other night. Just want to make sure I am only on one tonight. Good evening to you all, by the way. Well, I can see you're on 3 at the minute, Samantha. Can you see 4? I can see 3.
I can't see any of them.
Oh, there we go. No worries, Helen. No worries. Well, Samantha, I can see 3. I can see you on 3 at the minute.
1, 2, 3, 4. It's broadcasting on 5 sites at the moment.
Oh, there we go then.
Yeah.
Evening, Ali. Not too bad. Still a bit tired. Waiting
I
for
don't
my
know.
stupid phone call.
Being on 5 sites, is that desperation or a miscalculation?
It could be both. I'm still waiting for my phone call, either from the doctor or the surgeon. Feeding the medium is different than asking for confirmation, correct? No, it's a bit of both.
Keith Jones has asked, can I get a reading from you guys?
Well, that's a question.
Yeah.
Technically, that is a question.
Yeah, that's a question.
You'll have to wait, Keith, and see. When we go into that part of the evening, shall we say?
Yes, it's about 5 minutes before the end.
Yes. You said 3 last night. You said we'd only be on 3 minutes on the clairvoyant side.
Yeah, but it'll take 2 minutes.
Have you changed the time now?
It'll take 2 minutes out of the 5 to select the first person. Then you'll have 3 minutes to do the read.
Oh, I see. Right, I'm with you now.
And then once you finish the read, it'll be time to say goodnight.
Well, I hope you survive it, Jamie. I hope you do. I will send thoughts in your direction to see if we can get you some protection. How's about that? If feeding the medium, go for tapas, not buffets. I prefer fish and chips or egg and chips or something like that. You know what I mean? Something to do with chips.
Steak and chips.
God. Yeah, steak and chips. Yeah. We had steak the other night. Mumsy and I had steak the other night. It was nice, it was.
So did we, didn't we?
Yeah, we had steak. Like the other night there, it was a mistake because it was meant to be chicken.
Yeah. There was a cow limping in the field out of the way the other day. It had a leg missing.
Oh, well, we normally have 3-legged cows around our place.
Yeah.
Because when the freezer shop sat, I just nip over and help myself.
Well, of course, absolutely. Well, that's what you're doing, isn't it?
Charlie, go and lie down, please. I can't.
Not a problem, Jamie. Not a problem at all. I can do that. No problem. Somebody asked me years ago, there were a hurricane was heading their direction, and they asked me if they could if I could divert it, and I said, well, I'll do what I can for you. And right at the last minute, it diverted, so that was good. That was good.
I do like my steak so rare that it's still breathing.
Yes. Hello, Jeannie. Is that Jeannie with the lamp, or just wondering?
It sounds Scottish because it's Jeannie Muck.
Yeah, I'm just asking for a friend.
Mac Jeannie.
We must be on Facebook again then. Not Facebook, blimey. We must be on YouTube again.
Yeah, we're on all 3.
Oh,
we're on Facebook and YouTube.
Oh, I see. Okay. Right.
Yeah, I will explain later.
Oh, okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Well,
Jean with the light brown hair. There we go. Well sorted.
Yeah. Right. Shall we start then?
I thought we already had.
I thought we had as well. But somebody already asked us 2 questions.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
I went to make my husband a nice cup of tea.
Oh, well, that's not very good, is it, eh? Hi, Sarah.
Hi, Sarah.
Charming.
Right. So first things first, we've already sort of spoke about it. Please, can you send your loving thoughts out to Christine Stewart, who sadly lost her husband this afternoon. Maybe you can send thoughts out to her.
There's a good one. Do you believe in psychic surgery? Ooh, I can answer that one if you want.
Couldn't I?
I did a demonstration one evening over in Oxford, and there was a couple of ladies came up to me and said, "You mentioned in your evening that you did healing," and I said, "Yes, I do." So one of the ladies said, "Well, my friend here," I can't remember my name for the life of me,
Ethel.
has been trying to have a child, and we were wondering if she could have some healing, whether it would make a difference. They tried IVF and it wasn't working. Surgeon said, not going to happen. So
I've got an answer for that before you carry on, because I'll give you exactly what my nan said to my sister. Not trying hard enough.
oh, there we go then. Well, there we go. Yeah. Anyway, the president of the church said, "Why don't you use the healing room, Tom?" So I said, "Well, fair enough then." Off we tootled into the healing room, and whilst I was doing some healing, one of my guides came in and said, "Oh, I'd like to come in and work on this lady, if you don't mind, if you'd like to just shift out the way, as to do to me." So I explained the situation, that I would probably end up going into deep trance. And the next thing I knew, I was out for the count. Come back, and the lady in question, she was lying on the healing couch. Apparently, she could feel hands. Whilst I had my hands on her tummy area, she could feel hands inside, and they were working away. And apparently my guide said he was working on her, and that her tubes were all tangled up, and this was the reason why things weren't happening. So he explained in detail, apparently, to her what was going on in her stomach area, what was happening throughout her life and all that. And it was about 3 months later, I saw them in another place in Oxfordshire, and they both came up, and one of them shouted out very loud in a full room of people, "Here, you were the one that got my friend pregnant." I went, what?
Oh dear. Tom thoughts, what were you doing?
Oh no. Anyway, it was those two ladies, apparently, because I couldn't remember them from Adam. I really couldn't. Yes, so I firmly believe in it. Yes. Yes, very much so.
What do you have to say about that?
Hey. Hi, Nicola.
Tina must have been extremely shocked and stunned.
Well, thankfully she was there at the time. And
you did not upset Mumsy, did you?
Hey?
You did not upset Mumsy, did you?
No, not at all. Mumsy was well pleased, well happy. She was well happy. Yeah, apparently she said while she was lying there that she felt hands inside of the stomach twiddling about was her term, apparently. Twiddling about with her tubes and what have you. And yeah, so she was well happy. Spirit were well happy, and it was really nice. I mean, the guy apparently did say as well that he had to do other parts to her body, therefore the only way he could do that would be when she was in a sleep state, so that he would visit her through the night. And apparently this is what they said to me when I saw them months later, that it was a case of she woke up in the middle of the night wondering what was going on, and she saw this vision of this old boy there fiddling about, and said, "Oh," he says, "I've just got to finish off what I was doing earlier." So there we go. Yes. So yes, I firmly believe it. There we go.
Immaculate Conception.
Another case of the Immaculate Contraption.
Yes, right. We are here to discuss about feeding the mediums as well.
Yes, we are indeed.
It's
Mine's steak and chips. Luke's steak and chips. What were you after, Paul? Son, what were you after?
Nothing.
We've ordered steak and chips. What have you ordered?
Nothing. I'm not hungry. I've already. I haven't that long eaten.
Oh God!
Yeah. So no, Luke's done a roast duck dinner. So it was
Oh, don't tell Mumsy. Oh dear God, don't tell Mumsy.
yeah.
Mumsy would
I'm
be very
doing this
upset.
for your sake as well as ours as well.
Yeah, if you wait till the end, we'll give you the recipe.
Yeah, Mumsy will be well upset if she finds out that you've been eating duck. Oh God, no.
Yeah.
The good Irish coodle. That, do you know, the owner of that, that reminds me of something. Years ago, I was in Dover, and I'd gone to do some readings at this girl's house.
I like what Nicola just put.
And basically, one of them was a child who had cancer. She had 2 weeks to live. And I started healing, then I disappeared. I disappeared off into my own little world. They came in. One of them was a beautiful Native American Indian gentleman. And he decided he wanted to come in to do the healing, so he came in. And basically, at the end of it, apparently he turned around and said, "You give coodle, and they couldn't understand what he was on about. And then he had to find out from somebody in the spirit world what it was. Oh, and he came back and he says, I don't mean coodle, I mean kuddle. Kuddle. And she jumped off her mum's lap because he did the healing on while she's sitting on her mum's lap, and she flung her arms around me and my guide. So she obviously had permission to do that. Otherwise, I'd have been coming back a little bit worse for wear, we say. Yeah. And that girl now is 21, 20. Well, she's got to be older now. She's probably about 23, 24, if not a bit older. So that's the healing side of things. Always nice when you get nice things that come through healing or whatever. It really is nice.
Definitely.
I've had homemade spaghetti bolognese. It was yummy. Well, you're going to say that, Helen, aren't you? You're going to say that. Hi, Julie. Hi to all those as well who came in. I think I saw AJ as well. Good evening, AJ. Hope you're doing well, my friend. I love Irish what is that? Cloddles we do? Oh, Mary, it was lovely. I rang up one day, and she was 4 at the time, and she didn't want to live. And I spoke to her mum, and I says, "Can you get this phone into the room, please?" She says, "Yeah, of course." Anyway, she took the phone in the room, and she was saying to her about, basically, do you want to speak to this person on the phone? And she says, "I've told you, Mum, I just want to go. I don't want to be here anymore." And she says, well, it's Tom here, And it was like the next thing, "Oh, Tom." So she was shouting at the top of her voice, and I had a giggling and what have you. And then one of the nurses popped her head in the door, and she said, I won't mention her name. She didn't want to be here. The mum says she does now. Oh, it's lovely it is. Yeah.
For now.
Love a healing. Oh, Leona, I will send you some healing if you want me to. How about that? Hope your drone lost my nephew 3 weeks ago. Have no answers. Julie, read the ticker tape at the bottom. It's lovely when these things happen, Julie. It really is. Marianne, good evening. Hi, and thank you for my gift. Of course, Leona. I don't know whether or not you're friends of mine on Facebook. Send me a message. Let me know the details. Let me know what's going on, and I will do what I can.
Hi, AJ Simpson.
I thought I saw you before, buddy. How are you? Are you well? Oh, well, we don't get many questions here, are we? And we're not starting yet. We're not starting yet. We made that decision. Well, to be honest with you, Luke and I were championing at the bit, but Paul said no. We've got to leave it till later. I've got to say, correct, Luke? Correct?
Absolutely.
Yeah, there we go. Have you ever heard of babies' spirits trapping back through their mums if they are holding them when they pass, please? As in pure energy shooting upwards. Huh? Not particularly, no. If I'm honest. Good evening, Fiona. I hope you're well. You're not wearing it.
Hi, Caitlin.
Very welcome. I ain't got
There's
something
a
well.
very,
Hang on.
very important question there from Mary Freeman.
Yes, it's about feeding the medium.
No, that's not what she asked.
What's the subject
Put
tonight?
the question up. That's what you're there for. You're keeper of the questions. Put them up.
Hi, Jodie. How are you, my lovely?
Any subject you want, Mary. You know what the format is. Yeah, you've been here long enough. Blimey, she's been here longer than what us three have. Oh, thank you, Fiona. Nice to see you well. Did you do as I suggested, Fiona? No steak. Oh, no, Marianne. Luke and I have already put an order in for steak and chips each.
Yeah, with mushrooms, onions, grilled tomato, freshly minted peas, steak, pepper sauce, chips.
We had the other day. We had beautiful steak, baby potatoes rather than chips. Thinking of the old ticker.
They can do, Caitlin. They can do.
We had what else? We had peas as well with it, fresh peas, garden peas, onion rings. Also, we had grilled tomatoes and mushrooms. Did I say mushrooms? I can't remember. Anyway, yes. So we had the whites. We had the whites. Peppercorn sauce. We had, yes. Peppercorn sauce has to be cheap apparently these days. I'm not supposed to have peppercorn sauce. Dear God, and they tell me pepper is good for me. You good, Fiona. I'm pleased to see what you've said there. I really am pleased to see what you said. I'm drooling again, Tom. Sorry, Linda.
Hiya, Kim.
Listen, what you do in your personal life it's nothing to do with us, Linda. Okay, you keep saying these things. Sorry,
Yeah, we're
Jordan.
not too bad, thank you, Kim.
Yes, good evening. Good evening, Kim.
Did you answer this one that I put up?
Oh, what's that? Will someone who's recently passed come through a medium, or does it take some time? Kate and I've had them the very second that passed away come through.
I had one.
The very second.
I had one Sunday who had just passed that afternoon.
Minding my own business. One Tuesday afternoon, 2:10 it was, and this woman come and stood beside me. She says, "Oh, I've just passed." Oh. Oh, that was her words before she went banging on about what was going to happen at a funeral or whatever. But there you go. Well, I hope I'd passed over. I hope you weren't sort of eating them while they're still on the cow, for God's sakes. Oh dear God. Oh,
Yeah, that's fine by me.
I don't. I've got to have mine. Can't be any blood in my steak. Ugh.
well, son's just like mumsy and father. Yes, we're the same.
I like it. So when you stick the fork in it, it moves at you.
Yeah, but that's when you're sticking the fork in to cut it off the cow. God's truth.
Yeah,
Oh, dear God.
that's a lovely fresh steak then.
Julie, you're asking questions again. You're fading the medium. Or mediums, in this case.
I can understand where she's coming from because she wants answers, bless her. But
you've got to understand, Julie, that in the UK we are not allowed to make any form of diagnosis. It's against the law.
Hi, Wendy Gilbert. How are you, my lovely?
Hi, Wendy. There you are, Jamie saying well done for me too. Hoping a certain someone comes through for me at some point. Well, you never know, Caitlin, you never know.
Julie just put you wanted questions. Sorry. We can have questions, Julie. It's just we're not allowed to do medical.
You're inferring again of a certain individual, i.e. your nephew. This is the thing. Yes, anyway, yes, so as I was saying, I'm not allowed to have peppercorn sauce, and yet they reckon pepper's good for me.
No, don't be sorry, Julie. I know you're after answers, and yeah, I'll probably be the same as you, but unfortunately we are not allowed. It's against the law in the UK to actually give those sort of answers.
Yeah.
Any medical. Can you give an example of how your intended thoughts sound compared to how intuition sounds, and then how spirit sounds when they come through? Laugh out loud. Do they all sound the same, or
somebody's messaging me. They always do. Let's see who it is. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, I understand that, Julie. I do understand that, lovely.
I've just got your message, Fiona.
We're doing a bit of mediumship a bit later, Wendy. If I'm drawn to you, we'll definitely give you one if I'm drawn to you. But a quick note, Saturday, 9 p.m, me and Luke will be doing a special, and I'll be doing the wax cards. It is a paid thing, so if you want your wax cards, they are chargeable. But the crystal ball and that is not chargeable, if you understand that. If you want a wax card, there is a charge. If not, you want a crystal ball card or rune stone, then it's not. But there is donations if you wish to give donations.
No, Marianne, that's thrush. Oh, dear God. Sorry about that, boys. God. Did you say a question?
Yeah. Did you answer that question?
I did. I said, no, Marianne, it's thrush. Oh, there we go. Lower the tune.
There's a cream for that.
Yes, absolutely.
When you go to spirit, do you pick an age you want to look like?
Can do. If you so desire it, Caitlin, yes, you can do. Yeah, I know, Fiona, I know. No, that was for Leona, not Fiona. Okay,
Yeah.
Fiona?
No problem, Jodie. We'll be on it from 9 o'clock on Saturday.
I used to be afraid. Oh, go on then, go on.
I used to be afraid of dying, and now I'm not. As my sister-in-law told me, your soul goes first before your body feels any pain.
That depends. That depends, Leona. You could go through a certain amount of pain. Your body can go through a certain amount of pain. If it's accident-wise, there is a tendency that the soul will leave the body before the impact of the accident. Good answer, that actually.
Lynn's put a sort of thing, putting it basically in layman's terms, what we're not allowed to do, basically.
Yeah.
And about the feeding the medium when you could be scanned.
Yeah.
No problem, Jodie.
I know, Marianne, I know. Oh, you should know me mine now, Marianne. You should know my sense of humour. Oh, dear God. Oh, can't get the stuff these days. You can't get the stuff.
Is there a certain reason why spirit would keep showing up to you?
Yeah, because you didn't listen the first time.
Very sensibly put, son-in-law. Very sensibly put.
Julie, you don't have to be sorry. You've said sorry once. You don't, we understand that what you're after, but unfortunately we are not allowed. You don't have to keep saying sorry.
Depends on what they wish to come through with, Julie. It just depends on what they wish to come through with, Julie. There may be a connection to it. There may not. We never know. But we will not, under any circumstances, give any sort of insight into medical particulars, if you see what I mean, when it comes to that sort of thing, especially if there's an ongoing case. My worst fear is leaving my kids behind. I want to make sure they're all capable to look after themselves before my time is up. My only wish, they're safe, happy, and looked after. I'm sure there will be, Leona. I'm sure there will be, my dear.
Some kids are in their 40s and can't even tie their own shoelaces. So,
Well, yeah, exactly.
There's answer to that is as many times as it takes for you to learn every lesson you need to learn.
Absolutely. Some people like yo-yos. And spirit have got a string and they keep going like this. Like this, you see.
Yeah, this is an interesting
coming
one.
Down, coming back up, coming down, coming back up.
How do you clear your energies?
Why would you want your energies cleared, Fiona? If it's the wrong type of energy, yeah, you can meditate. You can go into that light. You can allow yourself to allow your mind to calm down and relax to a point where the light comes in and it helps the energy change from within. Because if it's a dark energy, you need to be light. That's what you need to be. But you can get a lot of dark energy around you that will take away the light. But it's up to you whether or not you wish to stop it or not.
And if you mean clean your energies, stand under the shower and use shower gel.
Yeah. Or jump in the washing machine. You know what I mean? Put a little bit of softener in with you as well. You know what I mean? So you're flexible.
And scent boost.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, yes.
I just like what Caitlin's just put. She wants a
Honestly,
refund if she has to do it again.
honestly, if I have to do life again after this one, I want you mean a refund?
Yeah.
That's understandable. That's understandable.
Boy, mate. Do you ever feel a bit of your previous life coming through into your current life? Yes.
We all
Very
do.
much so.
We all do. Each and every one of us. You don't need to be a medium for that. You know, we all get those moments, shall we say, within our thoughts, where we've been here before and all this sort of thing. What's that? That's what I mean. Thoughts, clear, sad, bad thoughts. Yeah, it's like I said there, Fiona. I've given you a bit of a helping hand with that, anyhow, my dear.
What happens when you have learned all the lessons to be learned, or is there not an end to the lessons?
You get called a know-it-all.
Yeah, there's never an end. Even when you return to spirit, you still learn. Because there's always something to learn. Always. And don't believe anybody that tells you, well, I've learned all the lessons this time, I'm not bothered anymore. No, they're always there.
Mine was when I was 15. My nan
When
died.
did you guys know, as in not have?
No, it's when did you guys know you had the
That's
ability?
no, as in yes, no. That's not no, as in.
Yeah, but I think that's what she meant.
That's what she meant. She meant know as in knowing.
Yeah.
There you go, son. You carry on, son. You're doing a grand job.
I was 15. My nana passed on August the 5th, 1990. I went back to boarding school in the September, and my nan actually came through to me there, and that was the first time I'd really seen spirit.
Ooh. I don't remember a time in this life when I haven't had the ability.
Luke and I were about the same age, actually, about 5.
Yeah.
There used to be a black blob that went around the banisters and up the stairs, only came when it was quiet, but it fed off all our negative energies, drained the life out of me. Haven't seen in a good while, thank God.
I thought she was calling me Black Blob for a minute there. I was going to say, I know I put a bit of weight on, but by God.
Yeah, I thought for a sec she was talking about the movie The Blob.
Yeah.
I thought she was talking Mr. Blobby.
If a certain person has to try heal their ancestry line and break the circle, does it mean all the ancestral people passed over
It's break
not
the cycle.
managed to heal it before you?
So it's break the cycle. As in a revolving cycle of, yeah.
Yeah.
So if a person has to try to heal their ancestry line and break the cycle, does it mean? Not at all. It depends on when it started. Bear in mind, your ancestry line goes way, way, way back in time.
Well before Noah's Ark.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Well before Adam and Steve.
If you have lots of family in spirit, why do only certain ones come through? Because I feel that they have a spokesperson to actually speak for them all.
It usually means that somebody's just wishing to come through and speak to you. It's as simple as that. It's first in the queue.
Is it just part of grief when in your mind you keep reliving sad times of a loved one's life, a loved one who has passed?
It is, Fiona. It is, me dear. Very much so.
Hi, Karen Gibbons.
get, if you like, fixated into a special person that's been in part of your life. And sometimes you can't accept when that person has passed away. Therefore, it revolves over and over and over, basically, you know. What was that with AJ?
It just saying what we all said about that's what we're here to learn, the lessons of life.
All right, yeah. Julie, when asking in a live for mediumship, perhaps later in this one, when they are done with Q&A, say, I've lost someone recently and I'm heartbroken because I just don't know why or what happened. It doesn't get out information that can be used by scammers, and it allows the medium to pull someone through. Maybe not who you lost, but a relative who can bring comfort or answer a question. Don't ever be sorry for questions or not understanding. That's how we learn. I would beg to differ there, Lynn. I would beg to differ there. Well, if a medium asks for a past loved one's name so they can channel a message from them, is that classed feeding, or is it okay to do so? It's classed as a feeding, Marianne. Classed as feeding we do, because then we are supposedly bringing that named person through for you. Now, there may be very many similarities to that person that you've lost, that a medium can bring through. And, you know, if you're saying yes, yes, yes all the time, might not be the same person. You have to remember that.
Okay, Jodie, take care. Speak to you soon. Hopefully speak to you on Saturday. Right. I find I seem to absorb negative energies from people and situations. Also find people drain my energies, leaving me exhausted. What is the best way to put the protection up around you, all around you, and have your barriers up? Make sure you've got the key with the door, with the gates closed.
And don't mix with people that feed off negative energy.
You could also, Karen, what you can do, I mean, because I know you've gone through a lot, Karen, okay? But you could pop yourself, some people say, in a bubble. I like to prefer it to be an egg, where you go in, you pick the best color that you love. You have that on the walls of the egg. You sit in a very, very comfortable, beautiful cushioned chair that helps you to relax in. You close that door and you allow then for the egg on the outside to form into a mirror. And that way that it reflects off the negative energies, basically. And it's a way as well of imagining that, you know, you're an egg in your mother's womb, basically, you know. And it gets protected from the fluids around it and whatever.
Yeah. My sister-in-law, Bernie, Strokes was 15 when she knew she had the gift. Her granddad died, and when they went to see him, his eyes were opened, looking at her, and she told everyone granddad is awake. His eyes are open. She was the only one that could see that.
There we go. You've answered the question.
Can I ask whether you can actually say to Lynn what you beg to differ with, if you don't mind?
I can't remember what the question was now. That was that long-winded one, wasn't it?
This one.
Truly, when asking live music, perhaps later in this one. The problem with that, Lynn, is that she's already mentioned who she wants through. That is the problem. This is where I would beg to differ, you know, because we've already now got an inclination as to who she wants to come through, you know. And also as well, when you say that, you know, it doesn't get out information, it can do. It can do, because she's saying she's heartbroken and what have you. So yeah.
It's a very difficult one, isn't it? Really.
Yes and no. It reminds me of the lady in America that I brought her mom through. It is a case of it can be hard, because you are putting that person in the medium's mind. But it's also hard when it comes to sort of understanding how they passed, and when it's due to medical terms and what have you, and the people are asking what it was they passed with and all of this business. It makes it untenable. It can't be done. Yeah.
Spirit comes through to me with the sun reflecting onto things. Also, rainbows have been a big spiritual sign to me.
Yeah.
And dreams coming true, but some can be months, some can be 10 years later. It's hard to explain through, though, without being the medium.
Yeah, well, I think what she's trying to say there is that spirit come through, that sun reflection, or rainbows and what have you, is that, like, people would say butterflies and stuff like that. Some can be months, some can be 10 years. Lisa, with regard to that lady, it was 50 years before her mom actually came through. And that's the thing at the end of the day. People can be funny in the spirit world as to who they choose to come through. They can be funny in this life, and then when they go over the other side, the traits are still there, basically. So, it's enough that, hey, up, what's going on there then? What are you doing? You shouldn't be doing that behind the scenes.
This is quite an interesting one here, because some mediums actually ask who they want to bring through. How do you sort of?
Well, that's the thing. You see, what she's got here is that happened to me. He said, "Who do you want me bring through?" He told me my aunt wants me to find someone. I said, I've been in a relationship for nearly 6 years. So basically, what his assumption was at the end of the day, that when you said you wanted your nan to come through, he immediately associated that with, oh, well, she's an elderly lady. She wants to see you having a good life, getting on with your life and all the rest of it, and so on and so forth. So he basically, he all he was doing was adding fuel to the fire, basically. You should just turn and say, well, whoever comes through. It's as simple as that. You get them like that, they might say, well, I want my husband to come through, and then somebody could turn and say, oh, well, he's telling me he's well, he's doing this, he's doing that. Could have nothing at all to do with your husband, but he's trying to please you, trying to get through a reading, basically. Or she, for that matter, it can be she as well.
And then they say, come back next week, I'll have a bit more.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Crystals help to take negativity energy away, and meditation, I believe.
Well, they can do. You have to use them wisely, though.
Yeah.
I once knew a very powerful witch, and she had a phenomenal, and I really mean a phenomenal, knowledge of crystals, how they worked, and the crystal goddess and all this business, and what it means to crystals to be taken from their home and all this business. So she could go on literally all evening with regard to, if somebody asked her a question about a particular crystal, she'd know exactly what to say about it. She was a phenomenal lady. Phenomenal lady. She lives in Oxford. She took me through a regression at one time. Yeah, very good, very interesting.
Can your spirit get lost when they pass?
Very much so, because sometimes they think they're still here. Oh yeah, there's many one that's gone through tragic circumstances that have roamed the earth plane, shall we say, and don't believe that they have gone over to the other side, even though they can see their family and loved ones and what have you. Still don't believe they've gone, you know. And others might try to hang on to their cash this side of life.
Lynn, yeah, I do understand where you're coming from there, but sometimes it is hard to ask what you want. So the best thing to do is just stay quiet and just say yes, no.
That's
I'll
exactly
take it on
all
board.
you need to say. Yeah, yeah. Yes and no. Well, I can't understand that. And then we've got to look then for more information, basically.
Yeah, it's up to us to give the proof, not them giving us. In other words, them not feeding us, so we could actually turn around and say, oh, this is going to be an easy night for us. Cool. Blimey, I'm going to make 60, 70 pounds now just for
I wish.
you just help me.
God.
You know what I mean? And this is how some bogus mediums get away with making so much money, because they've got all the answers already written down, because they know exactly who they're looking for.
Julie, that is morally wrong. 100% morally wrong. They shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't be making how do I put it? Let's just say they shouldn't be saying that what they say, because that is wrong. Totally and utterly wrong. I had somebody years ago, this lady, she contacted me. She'd had a medium at her home, and the medium saw a picture of 3 children on the wall, and basically the medium told her that the boy in the middle, her son at the time, it was 16, he was going into 17, that he wasn't long for here, and she thought he meant he wasn't long for this world. And she asked me, she says, what do you make of it? So I said, well, let's have a look. Let's see what's going on. I said, what the medium was meant to be saying was that your son wasn't long for where he is living, because he wanted to join the army. And he's coming up to an age where he could. That was the thing that was going on, where his parents would agree to it, type thing, you know. She panicked. She thought he's going to die. He's going to be this. I'm not going to have him here and all this business. And it's when they turn around and say about if someone, you know, is going to die of cancer, if someone's going to die of a heart, if someone's going to die of this and that. What a load of crap. Sorry, but it's true.
Answer to Samantha's questions. 9 times out of 10, when we're about to do spiritual, when we're about to do spiritual things, our dogs normally just fall asleep and they leave us alone. And near the end, the little one normally comes to say hello.
Yeah. What's going on here then? Who knocked me out?
Basically. Well, Little Angel's famous worldwide. Yes, Christina, we are well. Thank you.
Hello, Christina. Thank you for the heart. I'm sure the boys will have 1 heart each as well.
I often see Archangel Michael within paintings and see him in a crystal. Does this mean he is working with me?
He works with a lot of people, Helen. He's there for protection, basically. He traveled. He's literally everywhere. If people, especially if people need protection. Sharing is caring. Thank you, Christina. Yeah, the amount of times I've seen his sword, I've seen the sword of Damocles, I've seen this sword, I've seen that one, I've seen the old, what do you call them? The samurai sword. Yeah. And I even hear that one. God, when he's here, you can literally hear it. Samantha's asking you a question, Paul.
I've answered the question. Oh.
What about the wax cards?
Oh, right. Sorry. The encaustic art. You get some encaustic wax and encaustic card, a hot iron. You put the wax on the iron, and you do the pictures, and I do the readings for them. If you tune in on Saturday, you will see how I do it. Yes, I have got some which I can actually show you.
Oh, wow.
This is one of my favorite ones. Right, here is one of them that I done. That is one of them where you can see a dolphin and a lot of things in there. So, yeah.
I can see barbed wire there as well.
And when you turn the cards, you can actually see all different things.
It's weird. I can see barbed wire in there as well.
Around here.
That's what we use in the dungeon.
Yeah.
Or the
all right.
So this is what is actually, you can see an angel. See, a lot of things you can actually see from these, and this is what I will be doing on Saturday. I do charge for them because the wax is very expensive, the card's expensive, and postage is getting ridiculous now as well. So yeah, unfortunately I can't do these for free anymore, you know. So that's why I say only the people that actually want them are willing to purchase them. So yeah, as Christina just put, they are well worth it. But yeah, that is what the acoustic wax is.
Right. In response to working on that.
Do you want me to do it?
Yeah, do it because you're working. Because my other hand's not working right. Maria Harris. That one. Right. Marianne, in response to that question, more or less straight away, yes. And the reason for that is the message which I am delivering, if you're right, or channeling from a loved one to the person that's receiving the reading is directly between them two individuals. It's got nothing to do with me. And once the message is complete and the link is broken, I don't remember what the message was. And more often than not, by the end of the show, I can't even remember who it was I gave a reading to.
In other words, what you're saying is basically it's down to, it's your message, not his, therefore it gone straight through.
Yeah, exactly.
Samantha, it depends where you are and what size of a card you want. Because I do up to A4 from A5, A6 and A4 sizes. So it depends on the size you want.
And this question.
Can we
is
nip
very
back to
interesting.
Leona McAvoy, please?
This one.
Yes, thank you. Basically, Leona, I was doing a demonstration over in Wiltshire one particular evening, and Spirit came through to this young girl at the front, and they told her that her mum was on the wrong medication and she was bless you. And a few months later, because they said a mum wouldn't, she wouldn't say Christmas is sorted. And she'd gone to the hospital the next day and spoke to the doctors and said to them that mum was on the wrong medication and could they check it out, please? They checked it out and suddenly they found that indeed she was on the wrong medication. They were slowly taking her the other way rather than sort of bringing her back, if you like. And they had to then airlift this medication from Bristol over to wherever this hospital was in Wiltshire to counteract the medication that she had been given. So, yeah, it can happen.
Right. Now,
Ancestry is good.
Yeah, if it's documented.
Yeah.
What I can say on that one, from what I'm hearing from Rolling Thunder, is your ancestors, in brackets, loved ones, have come through to the family on a number of occasions, giving you information on the origins and the family history, and emphasized considerably that a lot of the history was passed down orally as opposed to in writing. Therefore, traditional methods of tracing ancestral information may not be as successful because the traditions of the people at the time were communication without written form, other than I'm going to say artistic impression on walls and stone.
The other aspect you've got to think of as well is that there are countless records that are very, very, very painfully being gone through to document these things into digital form, where it's all paperwork and they just haven't got the staff to bring that paperwork forward sufficiently enough to deal with it all straight away. So sadly it takes time. These things take time, and documents they back to dribbling again, but the documents do dribble out occasionally. So you're always best just keep looking, keep trying to research, keep looking through the internet and what have you. Go to places if you can to find out any information, because they're going to be on microfiche as well. There's all that sort of thing you can look at basically to find your ancestors.
Yeah. I would also say onto that both the Americas and the African continent and much of the Western European world were involved in slave trade, which meant lesser developed peoples scattered across the old world, which you could include Africa as being part of that because of colonizations and infiltrations, and the Americas because of the Spanish invasions of Southern and Central America, which then moved into Mexico area. Large populations of what I would term as native dwellers were sold into slavery and scattered across, the better part of Western Europe, and that Great Britain, just like the Spanish, were very heavily involved in that for a time. And as Britain once held large areas of North America, which is United States and Canada, much of the population that was native to those areas were also dragged away into slavery. So looking into forced abductions of populace from those areas may help, because the records won't necessarily, from written perspective, detail who was abducted and where they were sold to. But the fact that villages or communities were taken and sold into slavery may actually help you track down the likely location of where they went. But slave populations, certainly in the UK, the individual in slavery was not necessarily recorded by name. Some were only given a number which was tattooed onto them, or if you like, the cattle prod things that were burnt on to make a mark to identify it to a certain owner. Some of them had that. So where you're saying you're hitting a brick wall, it's maybe not down to you not looking hard enough. It may be just down to circumstances of the slave trade.
It could also mean as well, because a lot of these individuals, bless them, and it was a bad time for a lot of people. A lot of them were given names that weren't even their names, so this is where a lot of the records become misconstrued, because of the situation as it stood. And that's the thing. That's what you have to watch out for as well.
Right. With someone recently in
I
hospice.
wasn't finished, actually. I wasn't finished.
Oh, sorry.
And the other thing that would be worth taking into consideration is boundaries between countries were constantly changing. For example, the United States, as it exists today, didn't exist that way during the slave trade, which more or less came to an end after the American Civil War. And then the boundaries were changed again as the US started to grow state by state by state. And Canada, during the slave trade, in regards to boundaries, isn't the same as what it is today. So when you do your research, you have to bear in mind that certain areas that you're looking at may not necessarily be the state territory that they are today. It's difficult and it's very painstaking, but there's a lot of factors that could prove very difficult.
Yeah,
and the slave trade is one of the major factors.
Yeah, it's research. You get a lot of individuals, bless them, that had particular names that were very hard to pronounce. So the owner would make up a simple name to call them, and that's what they put on the records.
Mm-hmm. So their proper name, I'll give you an example. The native name, let's say, let's take Crazy Horse, right? He's known as his native name, which translates into English as Crazy Horse. But if he was sold into slavery to a rancher, the rancher may call him Thick One, and he would be recorded as a slave on the farm or the or the ranch as thick one, and he'd be recorded until he dies or is freed or granted his freedom as thick one. So they're not necessarily going to be named the same as what their real name is on existing records, purely because they weren't considered to be human beings because they weren't white, and that was the way it was in those days. As dreadful as it sounds.
I can't tell you that.
And also, people get married and they go by married names then.
Yeah.
So, there's so many different faculties you have to go through to actually get to know who's who and what's what. Because, like, some people, they don't put the, like, the wife's name on there or the husband's name on there. So, because they're not actually blood related.
And those who couldn't write, couldn't sign their name, just made a mark like an X or something like that. So it is very complicated, and it's not because you're not looking in the right places or trying hard enough. It's just purely there is so many factors that you have to consider. But it doesn't take away the fact that your ancestors are very, very much send their love very strongly to all of the family, and they really do know what you're doing, and they've given clues to the roots of the family.
Yeah. Sometimes as well, you have to remember that, especially when it comes to the native side of things, there is languages change over a period of time. And basically, I'll give an example. I was talking to a lady one night online, and this gentleman came through, and I started talking to him in this weird language, and it was Old Sioux, and the Sioux language had changed over a period of time, and it was her grandfather that was teaching her the old ways and the old language. So you got the modern day people who are doing the research with regard to the paperwork and what have you, sometimes can't understand the language, so they'll put anything down, and they can even change names like that,
And a very good example of that is just look at the English language itself. It does not in any shape or form resemble that which was spoken during Elizabethan times, or
well, it was Old English, wasn't it?
Yeah, or even King James times.
Yeah, it was Old English. I mean, it was used because sex in Old English is six, or should I say, six in Old English is sex. Yeah.
Yeah, and English manifested very much out of the old Saxon language and Latin mixed together, and that is why you find that there is a very strong resemblance between Dutch and Germanic, the old German language, and the very old English language, because all of them came out of Saxon language and Latin mixed together.
Don't forget the smidgen of Viking in there as well.
Yeah, that's more down south. That's
right.
more down south.
Yeah. Right. Was with someone recently in hospice. They asleep for 3 days. When leaving, I swear I saw their spirit sit up. How do you know if it's real or a figure of imagination?
If they were preparing to go to the spirit world, Joanne, the consensus of opinion is that the spirit body will start to leave the material body. In other words, it tests the water type thing. And you find them that what happens is normally they sit up or they rise above the body. It's either one or the other. They can come in two different ways, basically. I would have said most certainly you did see that person's spirit body.
We know someone whose parents passed, and the neighbour took the children in and they gave them their surname. In those days, there were no adoptions, so it only came to light when they researched and got stuck with their family tree.
Totally correct,
Very
Samantha.
commonplace, actually. That's very commonplace in the old days.
I still can't find my father's birth certificate. Not
Um,
there. Not there.
That was very common during the Puritan times and what do you call the other one? Quaker times. That was very common. That if a family died, and it was usually in relation to things like plague and whatever else, if children from one family survived, another family would take them on, so that they would be looked after, and they would almost live as though they belonged to that family that adopted them. It's very, very common. Very, very common.
Mary, in
My
answer,
father-
there's a lovely glint in your father's eye and said, "That was my halo, girl. That was my halo."
Yeah.
I
Mm.
like that. I thought that was funny.
Yeah. I recently lost a special friend. I was stood at the end of her bed, and while my whole body went cold, my hair and on arms stood on end. I felt a presence. Then she passed away. Could this have been spirit family there to help her? As I know that someone usually comes to you and helps you. You've got a actual one with Max.
Mm.
Yeah, so you can actually answer that one, Luke.
One of our, if you like, initial
Spiritual
friends
friend.
by the name of Maggie, or Mags, as she was fondly remembered as. She was dying of cancer, and
Her daughter went out.
we were all gathered round our bed at the hospital, and I said to her daughter that I don't think she's got long now. You better go and phone your dad to let him know that his wife's close to passing. And as she went out the room,
I was at the end of it.
Paul was standing at the end of her bed, and I was standing at the side of her bed holding her hand.
Sure.
And her, she passed the spirit, and the surrounds of the room disappeared, and I was there standing with her, holding her hand, and I saw her sit up out of her body, turn her legs so that she could put them on the ground. The floor of the hospital had vanished, and it was like heavily burnt grass, as in sunburnt grass. And her guide was there, an Indian, I think it was Cherokee, if I remember rightly. And he had a spare horse with him. And I saw Margaret get onto the horse, turn the horse around so she was facing me, smile and wave at me and say thank you, and then turn around with her guide and ride off down the prairie, basically into the spirit world. And as soon as she was out of sight, I went down the hill and in a dip where it was not possible for me to see her
The
anymore.
nurse checked her pulse.
We were back in the hospital room, and the nurse came in and checked her pulse and confirmed that she had gone, even though I'd already known that. And then her daughter came back in the room and as to say to her, your mum's just passed. So I can say from my experience of being at deathbeds of people that yes, someone does come to collect them. Not necessarily always a loved one. Some spiritual people are met by their guides.
Yeah.
Others, yes, are met by loved ones. It really just depends on a multitude of factors. But yes, someone always comes to meet them and take them home.
I was just sad that I didn't get to see that part. Like Luke's got a fantastic gift with managing to see that sort of thing. I don't, I knew that she was gone because of it was like I felt a poke being poked to let me know that she had passed, but I don't get to see that special moments. Maybe when I pass I will, but I haven't got the gift like Luke or Daddy Tom's got. So yeah, Daddy's gone quiet.
No, I just there was a message came through and I couldn't find it. I found it now.
Yeah.
Found it now.
I can give you an example of another one. My grandfather, after my grandma passed, he suddenly found an interest in the Baptist church. I really don't know why. Maybe it was because it was the nearest one, or he just felt drawn there. But he started going there on Sunday evenings, and on this particular Sunday, it was a very harsh winter, and he went off without an overcoat and was making his way down to where the church was, which was less than a quarter of a mile away from where we are. And as he passed out of view, I saw his spirit self walk backwards to the point where he was in view of me again from the window of the house and wave at me. And I knew it was his spirit because there was the golden outline around his body, which identifies spirit to, if you like, living people, as in earthbound people that I see in the street. And 10 minutes later, there was a knock at the door, and it was one of the wardens from the church that had come to our house and said that Grandad had taken a turn, and my mum and dad were then whisked away in this car to where the church was. As soon as they had left the house, I then had a guide whisper in my ear, "Your granddad's passed. He was saying goodbye to you." And when my mum and dad came back, they turned around and said that he had gone, as in he had passed away. So that's another example of a loved one whose spirit knew they were going home, but come to say a goodbye to me before he was officially declared as gone.
Yeah.
So sometimes people's actual soul or spirit self, higher self, can leave the body before the actual passing in certain circumstances.
Yeah. Right. You look quite serious there, Daddy.
Yeah, it was just before telling me I need my tablets, but I've just told her I've already taken them. Dear God, comes to something when you've got to put your things on the phone so that they remind you to take them. Dear God. I took them when I came up. I thought I'd take them early. And I keep forgetting that. Keep forgetting that. I've got it set for morning and evening, you know. And I get a thing that comes through on my watch to tell me. That's why I looked at my watch and what's that? And then
does it say, "Oi, take your tablets"?
Yeah, it's crazy.
I had one that I had one at one point that used to do that to me. And now I've actually got it marked on the pillbox: morning, evening, bedtime.
I've got 2 pillboxes now.
I've got it for. I've got one with 4 days on, you know, morning, mid-morning.
4 days? 4 days? What's that? I've got 7 days a week. Two lots, 7 days a week. So
yeah, no, I've got 4 lots of tablets I have to take 4 times a day.
Yeah.
But is it split into 8 days? Because he's got one for that day that doesn't end in Y.
Well, there we go then.
Yeah. So
that
was good. Yeah. So are we going to start talking about?
Yeah, let's move on. Why not indeed?
Yes.
Yeah, we've got 2 minutes left.
No, it's 1:30. No, 22. We actually finished.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's 2 minutes past 10.
Yeah. So
It's gone quick.
yeah.
Right. Names up if you don't want to read, please.
Absolutely.
Names up if you don't want to read.
Right. You're going first, Daddy.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Yeah. Put your names up if you don't want to read, please.
Yeah, put your names up if you want to read from me. If you don't, then don't bother.
Names up if you don't want to read from Daddy Tom, please.
Go for it, Tom. Thank you, Mary.
Right. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people that don't want to read to put their names up.
Yeah. Keep putting your names up, folks. Let's see who's here, let's see who's not.
Yeah.
And all that. I defo do. Oh, bless. Weirdly enough, I keep getting drawn to your name, Joanne. I shall find out the reason why. I shall find. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Joanne, I want to come to you. Oh, where do I begin? Talk to me, Joanne.
Joanne, you need to come back with a yes, please, no, thank you. Oh, yeah, you've got a confirmation, Tom, there.
Yeah, there we go. Okay, Joanne, I'm picking up a tremendous amount of heartache, okay? And I want to say I'm grateful for everything that was done for me. I tried so hard to cope, but I felt I couldn't cope any longer. I felt I needed to go. I felt I had to be able to allow myself to be free in the end, if you see what I mean. I was so physically exhausted, so emotionally drained and tired of everything that was going on. And it's like you can only keep going for so long. Then you have to realize that things aren't going to get any better, that things aren't going to be able to get to a point where you can cope because things gradually get worse. And my body at the time was gradually getting worse. I got to the stage within where I think I've just finally accepted it. And you know what? Since I finally accepted it and I slipped away to this side of life, I can't begin to describe how good I feel within myself. I can't begin to describe how I feel that sense of freedom, that sense of being released to a point where I'm happy inside. I carried sadness with me before I passed away. I did. And, you know, when people were coming and seeing me the way I was going, they weren't able to cope with it all that good. And I know there are those who will not accept the fact that I passed to this side of life. I know that they can't cope with it within themselves because although they're pleased I've gone, they didn't want me to go. They're making me aware of their eyes being tired, and it's like I'm wanting to sort of lie there and just keep drifting off. It's like the more I look at that, the more I'm aware of the struggles that were going on within my body through the pain I was going through. But I want to come back and I want to give you my love. I want to tell you I know how much I'm going to be missed. Because you see, people talked about that after I'd passed. Oh, well, you know, they're going to be really are going to be missed. And this, Joanne, is a beautiful lady that's drawn close. And I'm seeing her with just a little bit of makeup on her face. Never did have too much on. But just enough. Just to take the edge off a bit of life, you know. This is a lady who I want to say would have been loved from the heart. And when I say loved from the heart, I mean deeply. This is a lady who, although she was proud and, you know, she did her thing in her life, there wouldn't have been a day go by where she wouldn't help someone if they needed it and they had to genuinely need it, you know. But there's that beautiful sense of warmth that's drawing close with you. And the sweet smell of flowers, because she's on about flowers. And the more I look at that, the more I'm being made aware of varying different colours. But weirdly enough, I want to give you purple. And that always to me signifies a high spiritual colour. And as I look to that purple, I'm seeing it being draped around you. And she's talking about giving you comfort. It's like she's holding you in. And she's got no intention of letting you go.
That's for your.
She's got no intention. What was that?
I'm turning up.
Do you want to turn your mic off, lads? Where was we? Oh, dear God. Yes. The beautiful, it's like I'm watching her draw you in. She's got no intention of letting you go. She's wanting to bring you peace. She's wanting to try if she can to make you aware of her presence as well. She talks about your thoughts, about if only things could have been that little bit better, that little bit longer. If only there could have been that little bit more time. Just enough to sort of have you there that bit longer. But I know it was my time. I know it was my time. And if I'm honest, when I did pass away, I was relieved. I felt it was the right time to go. I felt I'd hung my time trying my best to hold on, but I just couldn't do it any longer. But it's a relief. The knowing that there's something else. The knowing that when people tell you that you can go and you can find peace and then suddenly you do. It's that feeling you get of pure love. That feeling of knowing deep down inside that, you know, it is true. Life is eternal. This lady went through a lot. And she's very much making me aware of that. She's talking about struggles that would have gone on in life at times. She's talking about large families and what have you, and disruptions going on within the families and what have you as well. But people just trying to be people in her time. There's a gentleman there as well who very, very much had problems with his breathing. And I want to say there was some form of industrial thing that would have gone on that would have created that issue with his chest area and his lungs. But he's making me laugh because he's talking about somebody that used to love chewing tobacco. And I look at that and I'm seeing how brown his teeth are going, and I'm saying that, bleh. And I know he's wanting to spit it out, and I'm saying, don't do that. Just don't do that, mate. Just don't do it. And he, oh God, and he's laughing. As he's laughing, I'm seeing it dribbling down his chin. And I want to say that this is a man who would have had a real good sense of humour. Hi, Jan. And so basic about his being down to earth that he didn't care one way or another what people thought. He never did. And he's saying, I never will, you know. And it's like inner peace. And he's talking about you, Joanne, and that need for inner peace. And he's just said to me, she'll find it, you know. She'll find it. She shouldn't really be looking for it yet because, you know, at the end of the day, everything's all raw, everything's different around her at this moment in time. But things will change. Peace will come. I'm going to leave you with that, Joanne. And as I do, this lady's just coming back and she's smiling. And she's wiping your tears away. And as I'm watching her wipe those tears away, I'm seeing a very, and I mean very, very, very gentle hand coming on your cheeks. And she's talking about how you feel a very, very gentle light touch on your cheeks. And she's saying, tell her that's me. Tell her I'll help her. I'll see her through this. I've saw through worse in life, but I will see her through this. And I'm going to leave you with that, Joanne. Don't give up within yourself. Okay, Joanne. Don't give up within yourself. I don't know if you're still here or not.
I know. That's what I was just wondering. I was just going to ask, did you understand all that, Joanne? You know, yeah. But wait, see if she answers. But I'm going next, and I'm going to the lovely Jan because I do feel there is someone about for her.
There is.
Yeah. Jan, can I come to you, please, lovely? Oh, wrong one. That one. Right, Jan.
Oh, there's Joanne.
Mm.
Thank you. Was needed. All accurate. Wanted to listen, not type. Oh, bless you, Joanne. She's got a beautiful light. She's got a beautiful light.
Right, Jan, as I come to you, I've got a lady, a maternal lady, coming forward, and she's coming in and saying, sorry, she hasn't been been around you at the moment, and she's saying that she felt quite lost, and you've been wondering where spirit has been, why have you been left? And this lady keeps coming in and she's saying, I'm sorry that I wasn't around for you. And I feel this was also when you was growing up as well. This lady is coming in with so much sorrow, and she's got quite a few tears coming now. And she just keeps saying, sorry at the moment. And she's saying, when you really needed me, I was not there. And I feel upset that I wasn't there to help and guide you. But she's saying your guides were around you when you needed them. What's been going on is heartbreaking to see you go through all this, and I am. She goes, I've always loved you, but I didn't understand things. I could never understand anything that was going on, and I am truly sorry for that. My love for you and how the hurt I've seen you been going through, I weep with you, but you are a strong person, even though you don't feel it at the moment. This love I have, and appreciate what you are going through and what you've been through. I will always be there. Now you can talk to me, and now I understand what has been going on and what has happened. It took guides and that to tell me exactly what was wrong and what was right, but I didn't understand what love was. And all she keeps saying is, I'm sorry, I did not understand what love was and how love works. And she's actually saying, when you were growing up, I wasn't always there, and I didn't show you the love and support that you needed when you were growing up. And she's going, I gave more attention to the others than I did you, and you felt left out, that you weren't getting all this. But she says, I am around, and you will feel me, and your guides will never leave you. When you didn't feel them, that is when they were working close, actually inside you, and they were there by your side each and every time. When you was at the hospital, when you were at home, they were watching, and they were around you at that time. I'm not going through what the things you've been going through, because I don't think that's fair on a public forum, but she is coming in with love and admiration, and she is actually saying, I never said it before, but I am proud of you. I am so proud of what you have come out from and what you have done. I am proud. I can say I am proud of you now. And I'm going to leave that love with you, and the strength of this lady that she is actually giving you now, the love and the strength that you so need. And never forget, you are loved. You are love. The way you treat people, you just give all the love to them, and it seems like they're taking it from you, but you're not giving it. They're not giving it back. So you feel left out. You feel empty, and it feels like you're giving it all, and no one's actually giving you anything. So you're feeling empty. And she's saying, you've got to start saying no now. You've got to start looking after yourself and saying, no, I do for myself, not for everybody else. Got to start being selfish, she says. But just remember, I do love you, and I am proud of you. I'm not going to leave that with you. Say, bless you, Jan. Bless you. Right.
Mhm. Ew, sorry, darling. I thought you were going to sit on my lap there. Right, okay. Right. Right, I have a conglomerate of guys around me at the moment, and they're all merging into one. So we have Warrior, who's come forward, and the talking stick will be going up shortly. Okay. Am I supposed to see the talking stick next to name if you're playing with it? That's how you just can't get the secretaries these days. Right, names up if you don't want to read, please. Right. Yes, I can hear you. All right, in that case. Right, in that case, I don't actually need that because I can hear the individual from behind me now. Okay, where are we going?
I'm going to move.
Right. Lisa Marie. Lisa Marie. Can I come to you, please? Lisa Marie. Right, there you go. Right, okay. Right, Lisa. I have a gentleman come forward who, yeah, okay, right. If you stand in front of me, then it'll be a lot easier. Right. Ah, right. Okay. Wasn't expecting you, but here we go. Lisa, I have a gentleman, a very influential gentleman that's come forward for you. And he's telling me that he actually draws close to you and also the family around you in general, because shall I tell? Okay. He draws close to you because you have a strong affiliation to him through the family, in that you're named after his daughter. Okay. And as this gentleman stands in front of me, I want to say that you look quite young, actually, compared to what you did. Right. I have a gentleman who describes himself as Elvis Aaron Presley. And he looks exactly like. All right, well, give me a clue. When was this? He's talking about a concert that he done on television, 68, a 1968 concert around Christmas time. And he says he wrote a song to cover his broken heart from splitting with the one woman in his life that he loved very dearly, and the daughter that they shared between them. And you are named after Lisa Marie, his daughter. And he says there are many characteristics about you, and each time that he looks at you, he is reminded very much of her in her early years as she was growing up and running around, and the fact that she was exposed to his music all the time. And he's advising me that you had a very similar upbringing where his music had a big impact on you and your family. I'm seeing a gentleman in my mind's eye that actually makes him laugh, because he's saying he does an impression of me, and he he does a good impression in that he knows all the words to the songs, howbeit he needs perhaps a little bit more practice in hitting the notes. And as I'm saying that, I'm hearing a song that was very important to him, and I'm hearing in mind that it's, what do you call it? Memories. Memories is a song he wrote about the breakup of his marriage and the separation from his child. But he says, life hasn't been easy for you, and there have been struggles. And he's saying, there is a song that I would give to you that really would inspire you to continue fighting the fight and to be the woman that you were always destined to be, which is bold, strong, and proud. And he's telling me that if you were to get a copy of the concert, that he wants you to listen to the final track in his performance that was swapped at the last moment. Okay, he wants you to listen to that song, and he wants you to take it to heart and to act on it, because he says he's singing it to you, as in the name Lisa Marie. It was a song he wanted to sing to his daughter to inspire her to be the beautiful, upstanding person that she was meant to be, like a warrior. A warrior. I'm hearing it in my mind being played, and I'm seeing him walking down some stairs as he sings it. And he's saying it was written. It says it's written in such a way that it's to inspire those who need upliftment, who need a boost in their confidence, who need encouragement to stand up and to be counted. And he's saying that you need to listen to it and to take note of what the words say. And as he steps aside, there is a lady coming forward. Now, this lady, as she comes forward, I want to say that she is in her mature years. Okay, so this is a lady who is reached 70 years and over. And as she appears to me in front of me here now, I want to say that she is of medium build, and she's wearing one of those pinny things that you put over your head, and she reminds me of a cartoon character in the Bruins, if you've ever seen that comic, Sunday Post in Scotland, in that she's always been seen with a penny, the one that ties up at the back. And she's one of those ladies that spends her life and every spare moment of the day in the kitchen, right? And that was where she was at her best, in the kitchen. And as she's in there, I'm seeing her doing umpteen things at the same time. I'm seeing pots on the stove. I'm seeing something cooking in the oven. I'm seeing washing up. I'm seeing table places being set. And I'm also seeing her with a cup. And she's putting the cup on the saucer and she's turning it like this. And as she turns it over, I'm seeing her look into the cup. And she's looking straight at me. Right. Okay, I'll tell that. It says, if you were to look in the cup, it says, it describes what your future is meant to be. Bold, strong, and proud. Okay? She wants you to be what she couldn't be. and that is a lady who is an independent thinker who doesn't take instructions on how to live her life, makes her own destiny, cuts a path through the jungle, not following someone else's trail, but cuts her own path, and is surrounded by her own success created at her own hand. Okay? Okay, right. Now, as she's standing there, Elvis has stepped forward again and he's starting to sing at me. I could listen to him all day long, actually. It's amazing. And it's that, all right, the words have got a message. Right. I'm going to say them as he's saying them. A little less conversation, a little more action. Okay? A little less conversation, a little more action. He's saying to you, the time for talking about taking control and making your own path is over. Now it's time for you to stand up and be counted and to make a name for yourself. You are a shining star, and it's time to let your shine and your light be seen by everyone. And with that, I'm going to draw away from you now because I'm getting this from both. So they are making their way to the hall. So Lisa, I'm going to leave that with you, but I have to say that is the first time in my entire mediumship I have ever seen Elvis Presley. So yes, I can now confirm to the world, he is there. Over to you, Dad. Elvis has left the building.
Okay, people, put your names up, please. Let's see where we're going to go. Oh, hello, cuz.
Bless you, Lisa. Thank you very much. What an amazing man.
Chest pain. Okay.
God's sake, what is the song he's talking about?
A little less conversation. That is the song.
Let's see. Ooh.
Lisa Marie, I've had to Google it. The song he's talking about is If I Can Dream. If I Can Dream. That's the song he was talking about that he was wanting you to listen to.
Elizabeth Ann Russell, are you still here? Talk to me if you're still here.
Sorry, who was that, mate?
Elizabeth Ann Russell. Talk to me, Elizabeth, if you're still here. If not, I will move on. Oh, yes, there she is. There she is.
Oh. I'm going to mute us.
Okay, Elizabeth, while I was sitting here, what do you mean I froze? Have I froze? Don't think I have. I'm still seeing myself here moving. I've got a lady drawn close to me here, and she's making me aware. While Luke was talking about the kitchen and what have you, she was actually in the kitchen. This lady, and she's got a Muslim cloth, and she's wrapping up this round pudding in it, and she's put it in a steamer. I'm seeing a big pan, the old-fashioned pans, and I'm seeing the steam that's boiling away. This pan's boiling, and the steam's coming up into this cloth with the pudding in, and it looks like when they used to make their own old-fashioned Christmas puddings. It looks so rich, so full of fruit. And I'm saying to her, I'll have a bit of that. And she's looking at me in a sort of like, what? And I don't think she was the type of person that she'd take too much fun off people, will say. She could be quite the person who could be quite strict when she wanted to be. But she's shown me, I don't know what, she's shown me this, and I'm saying, if you keep showing me this, I'm going to have some. And now she's given this little sort of a smirky grin. And I know that she's the type of person who very much what you saw was what you got. She was straight with people. You know, she was the type of person at the end of the day, you did what you have to do. That's good. Don't expect any praise for it. You ain't going to get it because you should have done it in the first place. She's telling me, well, her words, people used to think I had, shall we say, an attitude, a bit of a thing going on within myself, where I could be direct, where I could be forceful, where I would put people in their place no matter what. And rightly so, she's saying, rightly so, because let's face it, at the end of the day, you know, you if you're there, you're there for a reason. And I'm saying, yes, but you showed me this, but I want some now. I'm hungry now. I've seen it. I'm hungry. And she's laughing because she's making me aware. I've got a Christmas pudding in the cupboard in the kitchen. Making me aware of that. She's saying, get your own. And it's interesting because it was like she'd do a lot of preparation now. As I'm watching her, I know there was a stage where she had wavy hair because I'm watching her and the hair's coming down, and with her hand, she's sort of moving it out the way. And as she's doing this, I'm seeing this intense look of making sure she had every ounce of goodness in this thing. But I'm watching as well the old-fashioned tatties. She's just said tatties. And I'm seeing potatoes being sliced. And I'm seeing them being put in this frying pan with some onions and some scraps, some bits of bacon. And she's putting water in as well, and it's bubbling away. And the smell coming from that is phenomenal. It really is. And she said to me, don't you get fed at home? But I'm saying this beautiful, beautiful stuff. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I could do with a plate of that. And she's turning it over and turning it over. Now, the potatoes they were never really burnt around the edges. It was always nice and soft and lovely to be able to sort of see and smell. The onions, because I'm seeing the juices now coming from the potatoes and the onions. And I'm seeing where, what's that? there's this big lump of oven-baked bread, and I'm seeing it taking a quarter, because this is in quarters, and I'm seeing a quarter of it took off, and I'm seeing it being sliced, and it's like, I'll dip it in, I'll dip it in, but I'm wanting butter on it, and now she's saying to me, it's bad for you, you can't have it. God, in every move that I try to say, well, I'll have a bit of that, I'll have a bit of that, she's denying me it. So I've got mouths to feed. I can't just be doing this for everybody, you know. I've got mouths to feed. I've got my own family to think of and what have you. And I'm thinking, right, okay, fair enough, fair enough. Bless her. I know there were tough times with this lady. And I know that there were times when she really did struggle emotionally within herself, because it's like she's hiding that emotion as much as she possibly can. And as she's hiding that emotion, I know that she wouldn't have given the full extent of her emotions out to people. She would keep them in reserve. She would sort of, you know, a lady doesn't talk about her problems. A lady doesn't do this. A lady doesn't do that. She keeps things to herself. She doesn't mention this and mention that. You don't talk about stuff like that, you know. And she's very much, what I'm being made aware of, this eccentric pride, I want to say, you know, and there's this beautiful feel about her, this strength, this knowing that she got through what she had to get through in life, and that gave her a sense of pride, a sense of knowing that no matter what happened in life, she would do what she had to do. Very, very protective lady. She, you know, you didn't mess about with her too much, purely because you knew deep down inside, you know, that there was a certain element of protection that she would give toward her family, you know. Yes, they tried it on. Yes, they tried their best to sort of disparage her at times. And I feel there was a certain point in her life whereby there was a bit of disruption that went on because somebody didn't want her to get involved with a particular gentleman, Musa. And as I'm watching that, I'm seeing whereby she felt strongly enough that she would do her own thing, you know. And she talks about how in life people don't fully understand and appreciate her ability to be able to question other people. And she's talking about you. And she's making me aware of wanting to bring you some, as she calls it, sensible love. And she's laughing about it because she's saying about how at times we find it difficult to cope with the emotional stuff that goes on around ourselves. And she talks about where quite often you are looking for a sense of upliftment, a sense of joy in life, you know. There's a gentleman, now he's coming around, I want to say, to do with the chest. I'm feeling the chest, I'm feeling the pain in the neck, I'm getting in the shoulder. I'm questioning whether it is me or not. Very much questioning it because it's so close. But I want to say that this gentleman was close. Because he's making me aware now of going quickly in the end. Bang, the lights went out. And I'd had my time in life. I got through what I needed to get through in that life. Yes, there could have been other things that I could have done in life, I must admit. But I had old-fashioned ways. And I was a man that lived in a man's world in them days. And when I say I lived in a man's world, I don't mean the world that you're living in now. He's getting uptight, and I'm thinking, whoa, think of your chest, mate. Now I know it is because that's gone, that feeling's gone. But I do feel with him that people at times would have misunderstood him. I want to say that's because at times he could be abrupt, but I think it's a lot to do with frustration because people wouldn't listen to reason, what he was trying to say himself. But he talks about how there's always a sense of honour with regard to certain things. He's making me aware of you as a little girl. And I'm seeing you faffing about in puddles. And I'm seeing where your socks are sort of crumpled down the base of your legs, you know. And it's like you've got shoes on, but I'm seeing whereby these socks are rolled down sort of over your shoes. And now you're kicking the water, and I'm thinking, oh, for God's sakes, just leave the water alone, you know. And he's saying about how very much you are your mother's daughter, that you wouldn't listen to anybody else. Although you would look up to him, you wouldn't listen. There's a gentleman there as well with a cloth cap on who's just come in. And I'm seeing a striped shirt that's collarless. So it's a granddad type shirt. And he's got a little bit of hair at the top. Not a lot, but a little bit of hair at the top. And as I'm looking at him, I'm seeing a jacket on, and I'm seeing his cloth cap on, but I'm looking down because he's taking me down his clothing, and I'm seeing a pair of dark trousers with a thick brown leather belt, and I'm seeing the trousers, the top of his, this belt wasn't in his loops of his trousers. This belt was wrapped around his trousers, basically. And I'm seeing the top of his trousers sticking out over the top of the belt. And I'm seeing what looks like a creamy white colour of the inside of his trousers at the top coming out and showing at the top. As I look down his trousers, I'm seeing where the knees were very much shiny, we'll say, and there were the trouser bottoms were turned up, and what I'm looking at now is an old-fashioned pair of boots, and these things are strong leather boots. These things are made to last. And he's laughing because he said, "Me feet wore out before me boots did," you know. And as I look to them, I'm seeing whereby he had these laces, and they were wrapped around a couple of times around the top of his boots. Got thick woolen socks on there as well. I'm saying, "What are you doing with them on all, mate?" And he said, "Well," he says, "it's what I wore, you know." And she says, "Yeah, I had holes in them, but I didn't care. Nobody saw them because they were in my boots." He talks about where he would have worked on the land at one time, because I'm seeing working on the land. And he talks about how someone would have had, now I can't think what you call it, but I'm seeing this like little, it's not a cottage. It's like it's a small building. There was 2 windows at the front. There was the door in the middle.
A button bin.
Who?
It's a button Ben.
Is it? Oh, there we
Yeah.
go then. Yeah, well, it's anyway. Yes, well, one of them then. And I'm seeing the smoke coming out the chimney. And I'm seeing like the beautiful view of like the hillsides and whatever, you know?
Also known as a croft.
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 That's a crop. Okay. Anyway, he's standing outside this place. The threshold, well worn. It's very much well worn. It's like that, literally like that. Where the constant in and out of people would have worn it down very, very much. And there's a lady now coming out, bless her. And she's standing in the doorway, and I'm looking at her with her arms folded. And she's got an old-fashioned, like you were saying, Luke, where it got the pinny tied at the back, or it was Paul, whichever. And she's standing there like that, and she says, "I suppose you want to come in." And I'm saying, "Well, if you wouldn't mind, I'll pop in, and see what's going on." "Oh, come on," she says. Anyway, I went in. And she's playing well with him because she's saying, "You always bring it away from straight." God. I go in there and there's an old-fashioned wooden table. And I mean, this thing's well worn because this thing is also very much like that. And I'm seeing a couple of old-fashioned chairs by this open fireplace. And as I look to this fireplace, I'm seeing this old pot coming off like a there's a metal thing coming out from the fire, and this pot's going, and all this stuff's going in. And she's putting it back on the fire, but she's bent over as she's putting it on. And I know there's a problem with her back because I know as soon as she starts to sort of stand up straightish, she's going to put her hands on her back and she's going to try and stretch herself. These are connected, I'm being told, on father's side of the family going back in time. And I watch what's going on there. And I know that it would have been, the only way I can describe it is like a bleak life where there would have been very little in there. And there would have been an old-fashioned bed that would have been placed in there as well. So not a lot of room at all. And I think the two windows were one room, basically. But I'm watching that and I'm seeing her, bless her, I'm seeing her. All of a sudden, I'm seeing where she was doing this sort of thing. So lying on this bed, very, very frail. And I know full well, bless her, that her time was up in that bed. She passed away in that bed because she's making me aware of that, because I'm watching her and I'm seeing her sort of, the only way I can describe this, it's like she's looking around with her mind's eye rather than her eyes, because she's got her eyes closed. And she's remembering everything that was there at that time. And she talked about how she would get upset at the fact that she didn't know what was going to happen. She was frightened. She was afraid. She didn't know from one stage to the next what was going on. I know she was in a lot of pain. And she's now, as I'm watching her, I'm seeing her place her hands on her stomach area. There was a slight bloated sensation going on in the tummy area because I'm seeing it sort of like becoming rounded. And I know it's not a pregnancy, but I know it's something to do with the stomach being bloated and being sort of up, if you like. A lot of fluid there I'm being made aware of now, a lot of fluid. And God love her, it's like I'm just waiting for the days. It's like I'm just watching, I'm waiting for the days. I just want to go. don't care anymore. I can't cope with it. I can't be the person that people want me to be because I'm so ill. And I can't give the support that I want to give and what people want from me because I'm so ill. So I know that this lady would have tried her hardest, though, to literally cope with life. It was quite I know I said bleak, but I want to say barren existence as well. It's like there would be very little sort of association, we'll say, with people around her, you know. She'd pick and choose. She would pick and choose. Yeah. There's a gentleman by the name of George here as well, Elizabeth, who wants to be brought in. And he's smiling at you. And he's making me aware of there was knowledge between the two of you. And this man, I want to say, had a lot of respect for people. And people respected him quite highly as well. And as he draws in, he's telling me here about how, to him, although he was getting on, life was short. And I want to say I would have worked hard in life. Yes, I was tired. Yes, I did what I had to do in life to provide. And that was the nature of my life. And why am I getting that? George is making me aware of Bannockburn. And he's talking about battles in life that you see in life that, you know, you go through. And as you go through life, yes, you'll have battles. Yes, you'll have times where things are hard. Yes, you'll have times where things are tough and what have you. But at the end of the day, if it's worth fighting for, life is worth fighting for. I'm going to draw away from you now, Elizabeth. No, I can't draw away from you. There's another gentleman drawing close. And he's making me aware of his lungs. And he's just saying that he struggled. He struggled with his breathing. He struggled with his lungs. And I'm wanting a slight fluid build up in those lungs because I can see it coming there. And I'm getting that gurgling. You know when you get that gurgling sensation where it's like you can hear that rattle. It's like a rattle, but it's a gurgle sensation that's going on in the lungs. So I know there was problems in that area with this man. Because he's very, very much making me aware of that. And I know there was issues in those lungs. And I'm just thankful that I got through and I'm now this side of life. I'm thankful for the love and the support. I'm thankful for the trust in me. And I'm thankful that I had people in my life that I knew I could trust and I could be with when needed to be. I will draw away from you now, Elizabeth. Take their love. Remember, okay, that life is important. That we all have a purpose in life. And that sometimes we need that extra bit of love to keep us going. We'll leave you for that. Thank you for that, Luke.
Fabulous. Very, very detailed. Very, very detailed regarding the connection that you made there. It's like, wow. Absolute wow. Well, it's 11 o'clock now.
Yeah. Yes, I'm going to have to
I think it's time to bring ourselves to a close now. And here's the king of clairvoyance, Paul.
Yes. Thank you all for joining us today. Hopefully, we got through to some people about feeding the mediums, because it's for your sake as well as ours. You know, you get these charlatans that want to T. Lynn wants to ask a question. Can you read that out, boys?
Oh dear God. Oh dear God. Oh, don't even go there, Teresa. Don't even go there. If you can't do reading of sister, may I ask a general question? Heard a healer say body patients can interfere, sever chakra connections. Is this true, and does it apply to tattoos as well? Not true at all, Teresa. Not true at all. You know, oh dear God. Tattoos, piercings have been around for decades.
Yeah.
For absolutely
Thousands of
Yeah.
years.
Yvonne,
I've also got a question here that is interesting.
yeah, can I just answer this one quickly? Yvonne, Lynn told us about what happened with you being scammed the other
Yvonne?
day.
I don't know where
And
Yvonne is. I can't see it.
they've managed to stop one of them, but you lost £20 or $20 for it. But I'm glad you've done it through PayPal. I think Lynn told me that she got scammed by, was it a medium? Because I'm sure Lynn said it was a charlatan medium who pretended, and you lost some money through it.
I can't see Yvonne here.
Hmm?
I can't see an Yvonne here.
It's up a bit. It's just where Luke. Hold on a sec, because I know where it is. It's there. She's got Yvonne.
Right. Say hi, guys.
Yeah, Lynn told us about the her being scammed, and she
All
lost
right.
money
Okay.
to it, and she got very upset about it. But how
did this happen?
Yeah, how can you tell a real medium from a charlatan? Really?
How did this scam her?
I think it was for a medium.
Yeah, but how did this scam her?
They contact her and she contact them.
I think they contacted her or something. I haven't got the whole full thing. What I will do is get her or to actually message us and let us know the full details. But it was, and luckily she realised after paying the 20 that they were going to try and get more and do this and that, and she spoke to PayPal and they put a stop on it straight away. So she lost 20. That's all I know.
So what was it a bad reading or?
I don't honestly know. It was what Lynn told us. Yeah, what I'll do is I'll get the full facts and I'll give you a buzz about that.
Yeah, fine, thank you.
Yeah. Luke's got this one.
Yeah, Jamie put this up a while ago when you were in the middle of a read, and I thought that's interesting. You know, dream about a loved one who passed away, and in the dream I was kind of freaking out that they were alive in my dream. Well, that is what I would say is an example of one of those ultra HD, magnificent colored spirit induced connections, message from spirit, in which Paul and I have had several of these dreams over the years. And it's basically where you can embrace and sit down and have good long chats with a loved one that's passed the spirit, who is very much still alive. Yes, of course they're alive. It's only the body that's passed. So no, you haven't scared them away. It is very much a case of they're probably tying up loose ends, letting you know that they're well, they're okay, they're past, and they are happy and content where they are. And they just want you to know that you don't have to worry about where they are and what's happened to them. You know, they are very much in spirit, enjoying their existence in spirit. And it's just a way of them saying, don't worry, I'm okay. So, no, you haven't scared them away.
Can I add to that as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Jamie, what you have to understand as well is because you freaked out, they step back a bit. You haven't scared them away. They will come back to you when they know for sure you're not going to freak out. You'll be fine. They will draw back to you. Don't worry about that.
Yeah, they just come back with that and said,
yeah. He's shown you where he was at the time things were going on. Going through so much in his head, basically.
Here. Yeah, it's very much a case of them just, he's just letting you know that his real essence, we talk about the higher self, which is the spirit body of you, the spirit of you. It's just his way of letting you know he's okay. He's still very much alive, but in spirit form now, and letting you know that he's okay, putting your mind at rest.
You'd understand as well, Jamie, where you'd be a bit confused.
Yeah.
Quite the character, actually. Quite the character.
Mm-hmm.
But no, you hadn't scared them away. No, there's no way you've scared them away.
Yeah. So
she went to Teresa. That's her essence. That's the way she was. She ain't going to change for anybody. It's like everybody thinks at the end of the day when they go to spirit, oh, they're holier than now and all the rest. They're not. They're the same people. They've got the same sense of humour. If they were mad enough the wall, they would be mad enough the wall over there. If they were serious, they'd be serious. Things don't change.
Absolutely. Right. Well, Dan, thank you for joining us this evening and sharing your many, many words of wisdom.
Can I just add another little bit?
Of course.
When you are looking at mediums, especially on Facebook, if somebody sends you a friend's request in their name, be very wary, because there's a lot of mediums at the minute being taken off by unscrupulous people, we shall say, on Facebook, where they are taking their pictures, they're putting them up and trying to get people to believe that it is the person, i.e. like what you've been talking to us through tonight.
We've had it.
Yeah. Well, I had 2 emails today, didn't I? I was saying to you boys
today.
Yeah. Somebody obviously sending out friends requests, but it's certainly not me. And apparently, according to Facebook, that they're not friends that sent it in, and they are not taking me off, as it were. They can help themselves if they want. I mean, it's not a problem. If they can work like me, then fair enough, If they can't, well, tough. You'll spot it. You'll spot it.
I'll tell you a funny thing that happened just last night.
Ooh, is this personal or what?
No.
Right,
actually, it was this morning.
Oh, there we go.
I got someone trying to scam me because me and Luke got a lovely reading last night, didn't we? From a Tina in America. And I got this message saying, oh, you want your reading now, your full reading. And I was planning on saying, yeah, no problem. And then I messaged the real Tina saying this. She said, I'd never say that or anything. And I asked her for a PayPal so I could pay the money into hers. And then what I done, this is the scammers one, I asked for their PayPal. The first one, I turned around and said, oh, it wouldn't go through. And then she went, oh, silly me, I gave you the wrong one. So she put the other one on. So I actually reported to PayPal
Mm-hmm.
both of those addresses.
Yeah.
And also I reported to Facebook about her as well. And I told her I've reported her to PayPal and Facebook.
Yeah. Do you know, the sad thing about Facebook is that they don't take these things seriously enough.
No, that's right.
And they let these things go on and on and on till eventually people are scammed so much. And that's what then gives all the good mediums out there a bad name, because we're all tied with the same brush. And, you know, I mean, I had an account, there was 5,000 on our account. I had to come off it because every time I came onto Facebook, I was getting 25 boxes of messages coming through when the boxes used to come along the bottom. And it was a nightmare because I couldn't come on and talk to family and friends. But, you know, people, I don't know what it is. They need to get a life, I know that.
Yeah. Also, the problem is YouTube as well, because there's no.
And you're broadcasting
Yeah.
on it.
I'll explain that shortly, which I will. But what we've got to try and do is cut off the YouTube and just do Facebook, where you're more protected than what you are, because you've got no protection with YouTube. You can't block them or anything until they've done it.
Yeah. So if you get any friends requests from me
or us,
think yourself very lucky. Put it that way. Think yourself very lucky, because I very, very rarely dish any out.
Yeah, but also ask them for their PayPal details, and they give you that. Then you report it straight to PayPal.
Still, we will never approach you direct.
It's a pleasure.
Contact directly with you, and unless you have contacted us first. Okay, if you contacted us first, we will respond to you, but we will never contact you as a cold caller. Yeah. And if in any doubt, you can always do that FaceTime call to us direct and ask, "Is that us?" We don't mind responding to that and saying, "Hey, no, it's a scammer," or "Yes, it is us."
Yeah, you can always tell because there's very, very little information on their Facebook page. You know, there'll be the odd picture, no friends on there, and that's what it is.
And usually the Facebook is actually only been up there a few months.
Yeah. This is Daddy Tom. What can we do about this? Where T. Lynn says she doesn't do Facebook. She's saying it stinks because she don't do Facebook. Which
the thing is, Teresa, Facebook's good for certain things. Helps families keep in touch with each other. Helps families find each other as well. It's not all scammers. It really isn't. There's some good people on there, like us. We're on there, you know. And the beauty of that as well is that you can keep up to date as to where we're going to be and what have you, you know. Bye for now.
Did you answer Elizabeth's friend request? I think she sent you a friend request.
Has she?
I
can't see it.
Can't see it, Elizabeth.
Hold on. I accepted a friend's request from not last week, last Wednesday when we had that insurrection.
Yeah.
So I accepted it then, Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Thank you for sending it.
Yeah. Also, before we go,
you know, and I always have a look, and I mean I've had countless ones this last week, and you can see the scantily clad ladies, and I'm thinking, no. I'm more than happy with the beautiful lady that I have in my life.
Oh yeah, just wondering if it was you.
I say,
Yeah.
it was
Also,
me.
before we do go, there is one thing we want to get through is any nonsense like we had last week.
Yeah.
There'd be no second chance. You'll be out of the door straight away, because what happened last week was totally and utterly out of order. We do all this for nothing. We don't charge. Yeah, we may say a donation, and like when I do the special, the cards we do, but all the rest we do for nothing.
I just
You know,
float.
what's that?
I just float.
Yeah. So, you know, a little bit of politeness doesn't go anywhere. You know, we do this for you. Someone swore at Daddy Tom and on the live, so that is all I'm going to say to it.
Not pleasant at all.
A few people witnessed it, and it weren't fair on them witnessing it either.
Yeah.
So, Daddy Tom don't do anyone any harm. Me and Luke don't do anyone any harm. We're here to serve you, not use.
We don't need abuse. We don't need abuse.
No,
we take time out of our lives, our personal lives, to come in, do what we need to do to reconnect you with your loved ones.
This morning's just perfect.
And then, you know, the evening's over. And, you know, it's so sad to think that in reality, people can get very abusive and very aggressive, demanding to have readings.
Yeah.
You're very welcome, Lisa Marie.
Yeah. Tina, did you sort that scammer out? Because it was Tina Simpson that from this morning. Oh. Yeah, I done her. I done the.
And thank you,
PayPal.
Tina. And thank you, Tina, for that wonderful reading last night.
Yeah, amazing, totally amazing.
Where are you? Where do you live, Mary? I think I've asked this before. I think she said this before as well. Because I do funerals. I must admit, I do.
Do you do like a wedding sort of thing?
Could do, I suppose, but
like
I don't.
A blessing.
I can do you a blessing, not a problem.
Yeah, because me and Luke were thinking of having a blessing, but doing it live on.
Well, I'm not going to splash water on my computer. You've had that.
Yeah, no, it's just like doing a blessing. like what we're doing now. Where
all right.
But a druid blessing.
Well, you know, a previous life. So you mentioned that. In a previous life, I was a druid. I was at Stonehenge. Yeah.
Yeah. So watch this space.
Yes, watch this space. You never know. Let me have me holiday first.
Do what I done, Mary. I always came in, and Daddy Tom gave me the most beautiful message, and also got into trouble. Someone started moaning, didn't they?
Yeah,
because you gave me that message.
They're
saying I can do it myself.
Very deep message that was. Very deep message. No, you can't. Because at the end of the day, anybody that turns says, oh, well, I can get for myself all the time, I get for myself. What you're thinking, what you want to think. That's the thing at the end of the day. Because you've got to question who it is you're connecting with. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. And it was a very, very deep message. And a happy birthday for me. You know, from my mum.
Of course. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
And actually, I did get my mum actually came through to me in a dream, actually thanking Tom and Tina for what they're doing with me.
Yeah. Yeah, bless her. It's nice when they come in your dreams.
Yeah.
It really is.
I get a lot of that sitting under a tree with my mum, actually talking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll let you have the holiday first, Mary. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. So, oh, bless you. Oh, they have a mini.
Amazing.
There we go then.
Yeah.
Do you know if you have one round here, they'll probably go look. The people will come moving in there with the old double glazing, asking if you want double glazing.
Mm.
We got lots and lots of mini Stonehenges in Scotland. Standing stone monuments from ancient times.
Like what's that?
From the Picts and the Celts.
And what does that mean? Those series?
Very much like that series that's going on now called Highlander, where you see them dancing around standing stones. We've got many locations in Scotland that have got standing stones just like that. So we call them mini Stonehenges.
Yeah. Anyway, take care all.
Tina, your grandson is around you at the moment, lovely. He's coming in to give you a cuddle.
Two tips, because I'm off.
Yes. So say good night. God bless you all. We are back on Friday at 9 p.m. And then Saturday, I'm doing the wax cards. Luke's doing the crystal ball, rune stones, and that on Saturday. So look forward to seeing you all there. God bless.
If anybody's in South Wales,
thank you very
I'm
much.
in Apostolic Church doing an evening.
Yeah. Just hold on a moment. Tom, I'll say goodbye to these, but I just got to have a quick word. Bye-bye all.
Yeah, look after yourselves and each other. God bless you.